Yep.
Well, I think you might have missed it, Richter. I retconned something because Rainbow wanted to, and Cal stole his emerald.
Ah,
So he has pocketed, and you guys didn't see this, but for the player character knowledge, Rainbow has stolen her emerald.
that's not gonna bite us in the ass or anything.
It's moments like this where I wish intimidation wasn't charisma.
You can optionally use strength if the situation calls for it.
Okay. Thank you.
I mean, I think that's like a pretty canon rule in 5e, right?
It's not explicit, but it's in like the optional rules for dungeon masters. But like it's like the only place you find any mention of it. It's not mentioned in the player's handbook at all.
Okay. But yeah, I would allow that. I would allow pretty much any kind of, like even for other skill, ability score switching if it made sense.
Okay, sweet.
You can make a case for it, but I like that kind of shit. So anyway, you guys are led outside of the pavilion back into the open market of the Hassery with a little bit of condemnation, but also weirdly permission to go on this journey that you've sort of volunteered yourself for.
I appreciate you guys willing to go into obvious danger.
Well, that's sort of my thing.
It was kind of part and parcel with what we do, so you know.
Yeah, I guess that is true. Y'all did run headfirst into a demon encounter.
Hmm. I just personally don't like them in general, so you know. They tend to hurt innocent, and I'm not about that. You know?
Well, not a lot of you hairless can stomach that kind of work.
Hmm.
Alrighty. So you guys are. What are you gonna do for the rest of the evening?
Um, I guess we're just gonna go have dinner, I guess.
You ate before you left, and it is pretty late, just to clarify. But if you wanted to do something before turning in, you could.
Well, I mean, like second dinner.
If you want second dinner, you can. You'll have to purchase it probably for. And to be clear, there are stalls selling, street food. You could pick up stuff, but you'd have to purchase it.
Hmm.
Let's get some grub and hit the hay. We've got a busy day tomorrow.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
So no pub crawl.
No what
Well, I
now?
would take you up on that offer any other day. Tonight, probably not the best.
Well, perhaps in celebration on our safe return.
Oh, definitely. As long as the Grove Tender doesn't, kill us if she's alive.
Why would she kill us if she's alive?
Because
So,
her job is to keep outsiders away.
Even though we're the ones who potentially saved her at that point?
I mean, I'm not gonna pretend like I know how she's gonna react to you guys. Have a certain inkling of how she'll react to seeing me, but that hopefully won't drag you guys in with.
Do you know her personally?
No, but she'll probably know me.
Your reputation precedes you?
I don't think it has much to do with a reputation, more with the slight taint that's stuck on me.
Vinali just kind of experimentally sniffs the air for a moment.
You smell well-spiced street food.
Well, I don't know anything about any taint linger on you, but this certainly smells delicious enough.
I'd be surprised if you could detect it. But anyways, let's go get some grub.
All right.
I'm down.
You guys obtain each. I'll say if you want to pay two silver, 2 or 3 silver for the whole group, you'll each get a grilled lizard apiece, well spiced and seasoned. The whole thing. Its skin is soft and delicate enough you can just eat it right off the stick that it comes on, and you also will get a if you've ever seen like those Mexican corn cobs with like all the stuff slathered on it.
How much for 10 of each?
So double that, so 6 silver.
Okay. Mitty will front the cash for that.
All right, so you each get two lizards and 2 corn cobs.
Oh no! They get one. I get the rest. They each get one.
Oh,
Mitty gets the rest.
okay, so everyone else gets 1, and Mitty gets 6 of each.
Yep.
Okay.
He's a growing something.
Growing bear.
Growing Ursa.
Growing bear.
10.
Growing
It's 10.
belly.
It's 10 silver for per gold, right?
Right.
Okay.
Alrighty. So you guys enjoy your meal and turn in for the evening. As you all sleep, not necessarily intend to do this every session because it's narratively appropriate. Can I get everyone except Vinali to roll a d20? Okay, Drew's the highest. Although you were all really close. Thank you, roll 20. So during the night, Middendorfy, you are the one that dreams. In your sleep, you will remember the field where you killed him on. The green grass gently sloping up the hill at the base of the sacred peak. You remember vividly how green the grass was because in your mind, you see it juxtaposed against the ruby of where you wounded him. And you watch as that crimson, beautiful sheen mixing perhaps with like the gemstones from earlier in the night's activities, the ruby you held. You feel it seep beneath the earth, dropping deeper, the life's blood crawling through dirt and stone and root until it drops down into a vacuous black space, and creatures begin to lap it up with tongues green and barbed. And then you are in that space, overhead it, floating in the emptiness, unable to exert corporeal movement. You see multiple sets of 8 crimson eyes staring up at you, surrounding you. everywhere, and they fill the spaces on the walls as well, and then even above you, until you are completely surrounded by the eyes glaring at you. But it's not anger you feel, it's hunger. They appreciate the offering, but it wasn't enough. They need more. They're still so very hungry. And the intensity of their gaze unsettles you for a while. It makes you uncomfortable, and you begin to, although this isn't an emotion you would generally cling to when you're awake, in your dreams here, you feel fear for the first time in a while. And that is when, although you can't turn your head to look at it, you'll feel the reassuring touch on your shoulder. And you feel the bubble of warmth around you that cuts out the cold hunger of the outside. And you feel comfortable knowing that, as she has been in your recent days, she is here with you. And she's always going to be here with you. Um, and there's like a change of dimension, and suddenly what is outside the bubble is no longer the same, and you can only see it hazily as the red eyes turn back into blood, and the droplets begin circling your sphere of safety, not as insectile arachnids, but something different, still predatory, but not able to penetrate this orb of comfort that she has given you. And that's when you wake up in the morning.
But he's gonna kind of like stare off in a daze after what he went through there.
Yeah, and as the morning comes to you all, some of you may have had an interesting sleep because, as I mentioned before, you didn't purchase rooms at the Leaping Lizard. There's no such thing. This was a great big shared space tent of which you were allotted a bedroll among the many dozens of other bedrolls aligned communally around the outside ring of the inn. So it was open air community sleeping, which for some of you may have been difficult, but you all come to wakefulness, and it's hard to sleep in because right as morning starts, the noises of people getting up and moving around filters through the space, and pretty much everyone starts to get up at the same time.
So how many people did he roll over in his sleep, in his dreams?
I will say Mitty might have gotten rather close to you, Cal, but that he didn't roll over anyone.
Okay.
Just kind of cuddled a little bit.
I mean, probably isn't the first time he's had a bear in his bed, so. Oh, come on!
I heard you.
Right.
I can hear you.
I know you can.
Alrighty. But yeah, you all wake up.
Well. Um. So I guess like who's the first one to wake up?
Uh, I'll say it's MIDI, but like I said, it doesn't take long in this environment for you all to pretty much wake up at the same time.
Denali
Okay.
just kind of tucks his head back underneath his, like pulling his bedroll up as high as he can, and just like, 5 more minutes.
You ain't gonna get a lot of rest at this hour.
You'd be surprised how easy it is to tune everything out when you're tired.
You just hear loud snoring coming from Mish's bedroll.
Case in point.
So you rise from bed, some of you sooner and more gracefully than others, but within 15, 20 minutes, the smells of morning cooking and the ringing voices of people beginning to move about and business resuming, although you don't know if it ever truly ceased during the night, fills the Leaping Lizard. You guys are able to get a table, you're able to get some breakfast provided, and before terribly long, you will see a Nola Pathwalker reappear inside the inn. She'll come up and take a table with you, all kind of nervous and not sitting still as she says, "Hi, good morning, everybody.
Morning to you too.
Morning.
Good morning.
I take it that your business with White Paw went well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if that has changed your plans, or if something has come up that you need to reconsider, I understand. Just
Nah, we're good.
uh, you you still mean to come with me then?
Of
Well,
course.
yeah. Why
The
not?
chief herself wishes for us to do it too, so
She, you see, you kind of tilt her head at that. She wants you to help me.
of course.
You say that like that's a bad thing or like that's never happened before.
I I've been trying to ask her for help for weeks, but she's been ignoring every request I made.
Huh.
I I didn't even know that she knew about me, to be honest.
Yeah, these cats are tricksy. They've got eyes and ears everywhere.
As a grove tender, I've traveled around a lot, so I probably know more than most Tanha about the cat folk, but I'll never get used to it here.
What do
I'm
you
with
mean?
you on that.
You said, what do you mean, Mish?
Yeah.
Oh, just you know, different tribes do things differently.
Hmm. Agreed.
It's it's difficult to last here very long if you aren't of the same mindset as these people. I mean, it's not a city. It's a merchants convention, and I'm not a merchant. I'm a grove tender.
Hmm.
But enough about me. Did what were you guys wanting to do on your outing? I don't know where your sponsorship uh, enables you to go, but we're just going to the north of the pass for the grove we need to see.
We've been given an extra sponsorship from White Paw herself to go up there.
Okay, cool then. We can leave as soon as you're ready. It shouldn't be we should be able to get to the grove by this evening.
Well, I'll be ready once I finish my meal here. What about the rest of you?
And I'm good to go.
Same.
All right, then. We'll finish up eating and we'll head on out.
All right. So just to be sure, does anyone? There's no shopping or last minute purchases you need to make here. If I haven't made it clear, anything you want to buy is available here. I just don't know if you guys had goals.
How much are healing potions?
I believe. Let me double check, but I think basic healing potions are 50 gold.
That sounds right.
Yeah, basic potion of healing 2d4 plus 2 is 50 gold.
Ah. I don't have that fund, so
All right. Does anyone have anything they did want to purchase?
Nope.
I'll get one potion. I have the funds for it. No, we can hold on to it.
Okay, I'll say during the on your way out, you'll pass by a stall, rather like the one that you encountered Nola at, but less crunchy essential oils and more proper apothecary stuff. And the older cat folk there will sort of take your gold and say, "Yes, one potion of healing for you. Is that all you need? I have an entire range of alchemical wares for your perusal."
No. That'll be plenty. Thank you.
Are you sure? Buy 2 potions, get 1 gold off.
One's plenty. Thank you.
You'll see him kind of snap his fingers disappointedly, but you obtain your 1 healing potion.
Could I find a +3 Holy Avenger around here?
Make an investigation check.
I'm guessing no.
Unfortunately, no +3s. All right, but otherwise, you guys are able to make your way out of the hossery, out of the hustle and bustle of the trade going on. And for the first time since yesterday afternoon, you guys are reunited with the open air and sky and the fresh natural environments of the northern forested slopes of the cradle.
alrighty. Hey, I wonder whatever happened to that other guy.
You talking about Moon's character?
Yeah. No, the guy who got banished.
Oh, okay. You saw him be banished.
Hmm. You think he made it?
He was only banished from this city, not from the entire cradle. I'm sure he was able to take his business elsewhere.
There's a dog in pain.
Yappy dog.
Yeah, that's the neighbor's dog.
But yeah, so you guys are led, Nola in tow. I think here, let me pull the map up. So to reiterate, you guys are in the Howling Pass up here. You went down towards the collection of buildings there. That's basically where the Hassery was. And she's saying if you go back to the northern mouth of the pass, up like here, is where the grove that she is trying to take you towards. So it's not a very long trip. Who wants to make a survival check, though, to guide your all's progress there?
I have a +3, unless anybody has better, I can do it.
Go ahead. I only have +2.
All right. If you want to make it, then you can do so with advantage because Nola is helping you.
Whew.
All right, 19. So you make very good time. So during the course of the afternoon, you guys leave probably 9 o'clock in the morning. It's after lunch, but as you guys are traveling through these forested foothills and sort of back over some ground that you traveled previously with Cicero, you guys will eventually make it to the other end of the where the pass opens up, and you can see to your right, northeasterly, the rise of this other end of sort of the mountain ranges that make up the cradle. The tall brown slopes, just at the very top, maybe dusted with a bit of white. And she'll lead you towards a deeper part up the up a few hills, up into the mountain range itself, towards a sort of higher elevated region, and eventually you'll make your way towards what looks from the outside like a pretty large stand of trees, and it's fairly unremarkable from the outside, but upon sight of it, she'll immediately point and say, "Okay, we've made it. This is the Northern Mountain Grove."
Alright. And, do you know where exactly this entryway might be?
Right. So there's a cave entrance a little ways back up into the mountain range, and it will lead you down. And the reason the grove tenders mess around in there is because it actually takes you underneath the grove here. So it's a good way to check on the underside of it to make sure everything's okay. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where she went missing.
All right. Let's take a look.
Don't you guys want to stop at the grove first?
Should we?
Well, I don't know how outsiders feel, but for us grove tenders, we would never pass by one without having a chance to pray.
I mean, if
Uh,
you need to, we can. Because I'll admit I don't know that practice from, mostly from being out of the area. But if you need it, we can do that.
I don't think it's the best idea to have outsiders inside a grove. I don't. I can't imagine you being able to, or it would be frowned upon.
After all the years we fought by your side, this is how you treat us?
I'm just trying to. I don't want her to get in trouble because of us.
I admit it's unconventional, but if you guys have sponsorship to the Grove, then shouldn't you be allowed in?
Would I know if that is something that we could do?
So, how exactly do you mean?
Like, is this a from my limited knowledge of of Zoan culture, would having sponsorship actually open up the Grove towards outsiders?
Your initial impressions were probably right in that it very unlikely, but you suppose if given explicit permission to, there'd be nothing stopping them, but that permission would very impractically be given.
Would I think that the junior Grove tender would be allowed to give such permission?
No.
Yeah, I figured as much. I appreciate it, little lady, but it's best that for all parties that we not tread lightly on sacred soil. If you need some time to pray, we can easily wait here for you.
She kind of looks a little sad, but she'll just nod and say, okay, well, I'll go. Just check and make sure everything's okay, and yeah, I'll be back.
All right, sounds good. We'll be here.
You guys watch her go and disappear into the thicket, and she's gone for some time. Not too long, but 20 minutes or so. Is there anything you guys want to do or discuss in that time?
Mitchell just said, like, so why would it be a bad idea to, I don't know, pray at their grove? Like, isn't that a way of just, like, past showing respect to the area?
It's a way for Zoan to show respect. None of y'all
Yeah.
are Zoan. And I'm not welcome in such a sacred location. If it was ever found out that she let outsiders like us into the Grove, well, it probably wouldn't end well for her.
Alrighty, anything else?
No, I got nothing.
Alright, then after some time, you'll see Nola reappear. Eyes bright, although you can, well, everyone make a perception check.
Oops, I didn't mean to roll that at advantage.
That's fine. Okay, so everyone but Cal, which, sorry, that was an 8.
Too busy looking at his new emerald.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone but Cal can see that although she comes back like smiling and bright-eyed and renewed with like a sense of purpose, she was obviously crying in there, and there's still like some wetness to the fur of her cheeks.
Like, can you repeat that?
She comes out happy and like her time well spent, but she was obviously crying in there.
Huh. Okay.
But she comes back up to you all and says, everything seems to be in order. It doesn't look like anyone has disturbed the Heartwood since last we were there.
That's good to hear.
Is everything
then.
all right?
Mish should have actually just walked up and offered her like a handkerchief. Get a little something in your eye.
Oh, sorry. It's She'll take it and kind of dab at her eyes. It's well, perhaps you don't know. It's rather bright in there.
Like just going from, out here, all of a sudden having your eyes just blinded with light, it gets to you, right? Don't worry, I get that all the time.
Right, and she'll return it to you and say, kind of looking away from everyone. If we follow the northern slope for a few more minutes, we should be able to find the cave entrance.
Alrighty, lead on.
All right. She takes you up there. Despite her assurance of a few minutes, you guys are traveling up the slope, and you're definitely like in the like entry point where hills become the proper mountain range of the northern cradle. And she's looking around, seemingly confused. And after probably the 20th minute passes, she'll say, I know the entrance is around here, but if I'll be honest, I don't know where it is.
Alrighty. I guess we can outlook.
Yep.
Okay. Well, if anyone wants to look, make a perception check.
Do I dare? Still looking at my jewel.
Thank you, Vanilla.
So, three of you
I don't
spend
even have good perception.
I have a 0, okay?
This isn't a well, Midi's got a +3, but this isn't a highly perceptive group.
Apparently not.
But so the three of you spend some time looking around for it, and you find a whole lot of very interesting and diverse plant life. Who was the second highest? Midi. You'll see. You find and you spend some time distracted by evidence of what had previously been perhaps a rock slide in the area. You find some fallen earth and like heavy boulders that obviously have crashed recently from the slope of the mountain. But it is Vinali who, after a few minutes of looking, will find the entrance to the cave that Nola spoke of. Tucked away a little bit. It looks like it is not so obvious as to be easily seen from the slope. It's a little hidden, but you find this crevasse in the mountainside that leads into a cave system deeper inside.
I believe I see our way forward over there.
So,
Well, if you want to turn back, now's the time. Well, I mean, it would have been better a few days ago, but now is certainly your last chance.
nah.
Yeah, Nola will sort of nod firmly at that and say, if there's any hesitation in any of you, please, I promise I will think no less of you if you turn back at this point.
Nah. Let's do this.
Before we go in, Nala, what is your intention?
I would like to look for my my master, although I know I'm no match, and I would only be a burden to you all if I were to go deep into the Erekai's lair, but I can at least look for her before you get too deeply within.
If that's what you want, then feel free. But I want you to be honest. Is this what you really want?
She kind of stands in place for a bit and flexes her hand on her staff, as she'll say, What I want, Tough Hide, is to save my master, but I know I lack the strength and the training to do so.
There is wisdom in knowing what you're not capable of. Do not feel shame.
She nods a bit and she'll say, our order is powerful, but Grove Tenders, we're not warriors. We protect this land, and I know where my place is.
Very well. Then I shall promise you that we will do all in our power to find your master.
She nods, seemingly determined, and actually will begin to take the first steps of you all into the cavern.
Mitty will follow close behind.
Same.
Same.
All right, you guys enter within and begin to follow the course of the tunnels. Blessedly, because Nola admitted she didn't quite know the way personally through here. The cave system doesn't divert into multiple paths for you guys to have to choose where to go from. It follows a fairly straight shot, and as she leads you guys down into the deeper subterranean passageway, Nola will explain that although they're not all connected, the cradle is full of tunnel systems like this that have been here forever, and if you really wanted to, you could walk from one end of it to the other and never step foot on the surface. We we Grove Tenders, we call it these kind of passageways the roots because they well, they dip down underneath the groves that we take care of, and sometimes, although we're not always supposed to, we use them to travel distances.
Mm-hmm. So, how deep do these go?
The depth of the different root tunnels vary, but pretty deep, but not nearly as deep as the Arakai nests. Those are even further below the root. So, as you point of reference here, as you guys are walking into the tunnel, and at this point, uh, there really shouldn't be any light source. Um, you'll all notice, although some of you are adept at some low light vision, that although you're in a subterranean tunnel system, it's not pitch black in here. It's dark, it's difficult to see, and for the record, any perception based checks will be at disadvantage and stuff. But true pitch darkness does not seem to be around your group. It is behind you and it is ahead of you, but in the current space you're sort of traversing, it's just enough light where you can kind of see around you.
You're welcome. That's me, right?
Yeah, and you would know, Vanali, you would be aware, and probably Mish, if you've ever seen an elf before, that full-blooded elves, they they cannot be in darkness. Darkness runs from the Ava.
Well, it's a good thing and a bad thing. We can see where we're going, but anything else we'll know we're coming from a mile away.
Not quite a mile. I get your sentiment, though.
Nola will nod and say, other than what we came to find, there shouldn't be any danger. If you all want to use other sources of light, you should be safe to do so.
Mitty will pull out and light a torch.
Okay, so not just semi-darkness. You guys will be able to travel in proper torchlight then. But traveling thusly, the cavern system will lead you decidedly downward. It's not sloped aggressively, but there is a certain amount of downward, like a steep downward motion as you are traveling, and it can be kind of difficult to keep track of with no uh, uh, landmarks to judge it. But you get the impression that it's also not a straight shot. It winds and even seems to curl back over on itself. But after another half hour or so of travel, you'll get to a point where the up ahead you see that the tunnel begin widening, and at a further distance than that, beyond the orange glow of your torchlight, you'll begin to see what can only be probably described as like a blue glow, light of a colder, more blue hue than your torchlight.
Well, that's either good or bad.
Well, you sally forth.
About how far away does it seem to be?
Another 60 feet until the cavern ahead widens significantly.
I think this is better than a torch. I'm gonna go ahead and light up my bullseye lantern that sheds in a 120-foot cone, 60 of which is bright.
Okay. So a very strong light begins to emanate forth from the lantern, and holding it into the passageway ahead, you can see, as I described, the walls of the tunnel you're in visibly like widen and open into, and you can see like far walls of what is a much bigger cavernous structure. Um, and although your lantern light dispels any lingering gloom, there is still a blue tint to the air up ahead.
No indication of a visible source of that, though.
Make me a perception check.
I'm guessing not on that.
Yeah, it's hard to make out. It just seems effervescent in the room.
Well, nothing to it but to keep going then, I suppose.
Yeah.
I will say also, does anyone have a particularly high passive perception? That would probably be maybe MIDI.
Clearly not me.
Where do I check that? Oh, 13.
Yeah, it's faint, and it's probably only as you start to move in again. But you will hear as you get inside a sound that you're intimately aware of, and it's something in pain.
Something's hurt. Can I tell what direction it's coming from?
In the cavern ahead, um, beyond where you can see.
It's over somewhere further down.
Hmm.
We should be careful. Let's go.
Okay.
MIDI will take the front.
All right, so you guys are entering. Are you trying to stealth, or are you just walking in?
Mish will be trying to stealth in.
Oh, this is kind of going to be like more of a group thing, or not?
Oh. Well, in that case, we might as well just walk in.
I think with one glowing person, a torch, and a lantern, I
And
think
a
we've
bear.
already blown stealth out the window if anybody's paying attention.
Okay, so you guys walk into a cavern, and like I said, the space opens up dramatically. The tunnel you were in was not like tight or constrained by any means. MIDI could walk comfortably, but you open up into a cathedral of a cavern entrance. It's just full of open space. It's still dark in here, um, but looking up, you can immediately see the source of the glow. Um, Obvious roots of different trees and plants and the like hang distended from the ceiling. You get the impression from just their abundance and seeming vigor that this is probably directly beneath the grove that you previously visited. And even in the roots, you can see unmistakably spirits, blue orbs of fire that anyone in lists can identify with the souls of mortal beings, wrapped up in the roots, nurturing them as if that those are the source that these plants feed off of. You see some of them travel into the root and then shoot up seemingly to the surface or further beyond, and yet new ones come down to add their azure glow to this room. And at first sight, it's hard to gauge because some of them run together and fuse and become bigger gestalt balls of energy. But you're looking at the spirits of dozens, if not 100 individual mortal lives wrapped up together. And
Oh.
then you, or sorry, go ahead.
Like, Miss is just like commenting, like, huh. Oh, this is pleasant?
Not something you see every day.
Yeah.
But then you once again hear, and all of you will hear it this time, the pained squeal of a creature, not entirely using words, but more like a guttural yelp, and that draws your attention down from the roof of the cavern. And do you see the scuffle below and the shifting black legs of the guardians of this space? You have entered the root cavern. You see the entryway below, and you watch from your vantage point as uh, spiders, black with red eyes, the size of small dogs, are fighting these small humanoid creatures. You can already see the numerous web casings around this cavern, humanoid in size, full of presumably what had once been living beings, but new ones are fighting with these creatures. They are grunting in pain. The insectoid monsters are they're squealing. They're letting out high pitched chitters and groans of hunger as they battle these furry ratkin creatures.
This makes me very uncomfortable.
And I didn't have a token for her, but Nola, who's standing in the cavern entrance behind you all, just clutches her staff to her chest and breathes out a heavy sigh of horror as she just says, right under the grove. I can't believe it.
So what are we looking at exactly?
And right at that moment, you'll watch as this spider just reaches up with two of its front heavy scythe-like arms and just rakes them across the torso of this rat-like beastkin, and it just falls back a step, screeching and chittering like a rat. And it's obvious that you walked into a combat already ongoing. And that is where we will pick up next session.
Awesome.